Hey, yo, yo.
Back hero.
Yo, check it. This my special attack, 100 swords, 100 episodes, and here's to 100 more. Who got next? Place your change on the cabinet. Air Combo University graduates juggle my enemies before tagging in the Masters hero. Pros in action, toe tagging champions getting active. The message will always get near you. Return to the dream team, Spider-Man and Strider hear you. When the mask is on, I can't promise Cyclops to keep his glasses on. The handshake was potent. The inner glow shown as a mega optic blast, trailing behind the Shinku Hadouken. How you gonna dodge both of them? Blast you down to the last atom. Best regards from the proton cannon you couldn't fathom. If you were raised on gaming and put a controller up, I'm old enough to study the meta before I bless you. We understood space in the dash clean. Now we need the Justin Wong poster right next to the pro athletes. Final justice like a primary lotus from out the sky. Stars and stripes reminding you racism is still alive. Bring a plasma sword to a gunfight. Hayato, bring a hurricane kick. Tatsumaki Sentakyu. One time for all my otakus who played the console till their eyes closing. Probably forgot to study for their finals. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash.
Get off the court.
That shit used to come in aggressive.
I've been Kirk Cousins,
Right.
and I'm sad about it.
Who used to look like they got their ass whooped the worst?
Oh, Guile. His hair was like hanging down in front of his face.
That nigga Guile got the brakes beat off his ass by some. Who was it that did that to Guile, you think?
Ooh.
It was either Bison or Ryu, I feel like.
Bison.
Right, because you know niggas in the hood ain't never say M Bison.
Rainbow Punch.
Bison, dog.
Bison. Oh man.
I mean, he kept picking Bison, bro.
Sego Monsieur.
Psycho Crusher.
Oh man, Bison was.
That might have been my
terrifying.
best limited fake right there. My best impression, but
That was a good one.
I'm not gonna try it again because I went and grabbed it from Thailand and
bring it back.
But now I lost it. So.
That was a good one. Yeah, Guile I think looked the most beat up. Like his nose was clearly broken.
Yeah.
Cheeks were swollen. He had that piece of hair that hangs down in front of his.
Ken also looked fucked up, bro. I'm about to pull up a picture.
Oh man, hilarious.
Street Fighter 2.
9.
Right.
Jeez.
Beat up faces. God.
Street Fighter beat up faces. Oh boy.
Oh nah, it's fucking Blanca.
Nah, man, look at Guile, bro.
No,
Come on.
Guile for sure. He
looks terrible.
Dog, look at fucking Blanca, bro. Look at this. That nigga.
Blanca's like throwing up from getting beat up so
But they
bad.
changed him a bunch too. Cause this is
Goodness.
oh my god. Bison looks horrifying. Cause his eyes are like bleeding.
Got punched in both his eyeballs.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Nah, come on, bro. It's Blanca.
Yo got flame. Yeah, he looks.
This nigga eyes are
He's
literally
throwing
popping
up.
out of his head.
No, it's definitely Blanca. That's hilarious, bro. Okay, so God looks bad.
Everybody clearly niggas have been beaten to a pulp.
Oh my gosh, Chun-Li just looks sad.
Yeah, like damn, I lost. Cause I mean, they probably needed to make a decision about how is this. Although she do got a knot in her forehead, somebody clocked her. Somebody.
Blanca definitely looks worse. That's hilarious. He's bad.
Welcome to the podcast.
This is thrown up. Welcome to the SwordCast episode 167. What You know what? I love Dune. I'm just waiting for the second movie, man.
Did they re-release the release date?
I think it's coming out in March. It was supposed to come out in November, but I think it's coming out in March now.
Week.
Yeah, week, definitely for sure. But I'm excited for it, man, and I'm so well versed now on the Dune stuff from reading. Now I can watch the trailer for the second movie, and it's just, it's just cool to understand stuff. So now I can kind of point out what everything is and what the direction they're going with certain stuff just by looking at the trailer for the second movie. So I'm super excited for that movie, man. But what are you into currently?
Bro, I've been playing this new Assassin's Creed game. That shit kind of weak, bro. I'm not gonna lie. And I love Assassin's Creed, but that shit boring, bro. Like, they scaled back the gameplay quite a bit, but it just feels like they also scaled back the fun. Like, I'm like, whoa, yeah, bro. It feels like it reminds me.
Scale back the fun.
It reminds me of like the fucking AEW game. It was like, oh, this is a throwback. They're going back to the roots. This is the
thing I used to do when I was a kid. Yeah. Oh, this is the thing
it's exactly
I used
like
to do when I was a kid.
Bro, it's literally exactly the same. They just they scale back the gameplay so much.
Oh no.
And I don't know, it's just kind of boring, bro. Like I just feel like I've been there, done that. And I've never felt that, even though a lot of the Assassin's Creed games are very similar, the gameplay loop is almost always the same. This time it hit me with like, bro, I don't know, dog. This shit is not hitting the same.
That bad?
It's not bad. It's just the same game as fucking 2007. And that was 16 years ago. Like, man, like it's cool. Scaling back, like making a game smaller doesn't mean it doesn't have to strip down the quality of the game. Like, you can still do new. All the only critique that we had of the new Assassin's Creed games is that the fucking map was too big. That was all. I didn't say like make it so that the game is 16 years out of date, right? Like, I still like the combat is not nearly as good, bro. It's like I can't even explain it, bro. The combat's not that good. They're taking way too long. The thing that I like about Assassin's Creed is the sweaty. Like, when they start talking ancient societies, they got into a little bit of it, but it's taking forever for them to get to that part, which is the part that I like. And I don't know, man. Like, I love the setting. I love that it's like in like the what do I call this place? Because it's not it's like in Iraq, like Baghdad, like that area, Persia, like that back in the day. I'm not very well knowledged in
Algiers.
No, it's like in like the Arabian Peninsula, I think, but it's not Saudi Arabia. It's above that, whatever that area is called, like the Middle East in general. But it's specifically like that Iraq, Persia, Iran, or Iraq and Iran, I think, or Iran in particular used to be Persia. I think somebody's gonna tell me I'm wrong.
Hey, well, actually,
but it's in that area, and that's like a really important area for like the Muslim faith and all of that stuff. And the game is really brown. It's really Middle Eastern. Like, all of the voice actors that they got the woman whose name I can't pronounce, but she's that Arabic woman with the really deep voice that be acting her ass off all the time. She's in it. She's great. But it's just not great. I would, because brown stories, bro. I'll be wanting them to be dope, and this one doesn't quite land with me the same way. But the good news is Spider-Man's coming out soon, so either I'll punt on this altogether or I'll just play it until Spider-Man comes out. But I had a good run. Starfield was awesome. Playing Cyberpunk again was awesome.
I'm playing Cyberpunk again.
Right, bro. Put some hours into that mug. Very excited about the Cyberpunk sequel. I read an article that they aren't sure whether or not the Cyberpunk sequel will be first person or third person. And that was a lot of people's biggest complaint, was that they didn't love that it was third person.
Yeah. Whoa, third person?
Sorry, they didn't love that it was first person.
Yeah, that's literally why I didn't play it.
Yeah.
I'm not a first person guy.
That's not for everybody. Or even if they did like, hey, the gameplay is first person, but we'll give you third person cutscenes.
Yeah.
They planned on doing that, but they cut it for some fucking stupid reason. But anyways, they should at least do that. And if they do, that would be satisfactory for me. And for you cyberpunk nerds, man. So I actually learned. So in this, I know you're not like a cyberpunk nerd like I am, but in the story, there is a very important character that did not show up in Cyberpunk 2077. That character would be Morgan Blackhand. He's like sort of there is no good guy in this story, but he's like one of the main characters, one of the main good guys, or one of the main like perspective characters in the overall story. And he was missing from the world of Cyberpunk 2077. They didn't talk about him hardly at all. And I did some research and I learned that the reason why is because Mike Pondsmith, who's the creator of Cyberpunk, that's his character. Like that's his, because it's a tabletop RPG, right? So it's like Dungeons and Dragons, right? You can create your own character. Since he's the person who invented the game, his character is like a lore character in the world of Cyberpunk. And his character that he created is Morgan Blackhand. And he's still like running the game, which is like crazy to think about. He's still running the game with Morgan Blackhand right now, and like is still planning, because you've played, you know how fucking Dungeons and Dragons is played. You have like a dungeon master, or what do they call it? Is it the dungeon master or story master or whatever?
I forget, but I know you're talking about the person that like runs the game.
That writes the story, right? So basically, for all intents and purposes, Mike Pondsmith is like one big dungeon master for everything, for like all of the whole cyberpunk world. And within the context of that, he has his own character that he's still building the story for.
That's
so
cool.
The reason why he was not included in Cyberpunk 2077 is because his story's not finished, and he wanted to. Mike, I think the quote was something like, "I have a couple of unfinished stories that I want to tell before I let him loose to CD Projekt Red for them to play with." So yeah. When I hear all that, it makes me think that we'll probably see him in the sequel, and also he should be black because fucking Mike Pondsmith is black.
Nah.
Right. Nah. Because he actually isn't. I mean, they've said that he looks like George Clooney, which is fucking random. I just don't buy George Clooney as a badass. Like, I don't buy it. Anyways, I'm excited about that sequel's not going to come out for like 17 years, but whatever. It'll be cool whenever it comes out. And yeah, been playing video games. The new Assassin's Creed is weak, but hopefully it gets better.
New Assassin's Creed is weak.
Yeah.
Dang, man.
I really like sat down with my controller earlier today, and I was like, bro, am I gonna punt on this? I never do that. I never punt on games.
Yeah, that's kind of it's a big choice to punt on a new game, especially. One of my favorite. I remember my brother. He was waiting for this. There was this game called Vampire Reign, I think, back in the day on like the old, maybe Xbox 360. But he had been waiting for this game. This is so long ago. I think we might have even been in high school, and this is going on. He was like anticipating this game coming out for so long, and then he finally got it. Like saved up all his money and got it. And the game was weak, and he was like,
Shaq Fu.
He was trying. You're right. And he was trying to talk himself into that it was good. You know what I mean? He's like, oh no, you can. But wait a minute, because I'm like, nah,
I've been there.
That's weak.
I did that for Mass Effect Andromeda.
And you like playing the game with that fake smile.
Yeah. This is cool, right?
Yeah, this is great. Oh man,
sure.
Poor guy. And that's what's happening to you right now, Assassin's Creed.
Well, I'm not pretending that it's good though. I'm flat out like not enjoying it. Like I am like unambiguously not enjoying that shit.
Too old for fakeness.
Yeah, I'm not fucking around here.
Not gonna get not gonna get peer pressured by a video game.
If I finish it, it'll be because I need to, because it's another episode of the story and I gotta fucking finish the shit. So, like, I'm not taking my time to do no side quests. I'm just like, bro, what the fuck's the next mission?
Blazing through
all right,
the
bro,
story,
come on.
man.
You know what I'm saying? Yada yada. Nigga, who you want me to kill next? God damn it, nigga.
Skipping this.
All right, come on, whatever. Fucking the ancient ones. I get it. Just point me. Where's the fucking waypoint and show me the nigga so I can sit on top of this roof and jump and stab that nigga from the top rope. Like, come on, let's get it popping. Fuck out of here,
dude. I got the hiccups.
Nah, what are you, 7,
what
Doug?
Am I, 9? Child.
9.
Child, fucker. That was the only thing I could think of that sounded like a little kid sound.
Well, now you made me feel like a dumb kid. But yeah, man, I've just been reading Dune and Dune Messiah now, and watching movies, man. I've been watching. So back when I was in college, I loved that movie, The Man from Nowhere, and I haven't seen it since, like, oh my goodness.
Didn't they make a new one recently?
I don't know.
Did they? Henry Cavill? Or either they did or they are about to.
Let's not do that. Anyway, that movie, I used to love that movie.
Oh, sorry, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. My bad.
Okay, nah. The Man from Nowhere. It's a Korean action movie. I loved this movie when I was in college, man. This movie is really dope. And I haven't seen it since I was, it's been a while since I saw this movie. It came out in like 2010. I think the last time I saw it was probably 2014 or something. But I watched it again and, like, I love this movie. It's so good, man. It's like I feel like this movie definitely inspired John Wick. It's one of those. It's a Korean action movie. It's just the way that the action is so gritty and brutal. This guy who plays the main character is amazing. He's a great actor, but also the fights, and it's just brutal, violent. It's dope, man. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's revenge movies don't often have high level of emotional content in them, and this is one. There's some great acting in this, but there's also the way that this story is. It is a very emotionally driven movie. It's dope, man. I think you would like it. If you guys haven't seen it,
yeah, I've not seen it.
From Nowhere is fire. It's on Amazon Prime too, bro. So you should watch it. And when I say these fights inspired John Wick, some really good stuff. And I love how they're quiet. It's not a bunch of music playing, so it's just you just hear, you know what I mean, struggle, and then they're like, he fights this one. There's a guy. There's another character he's kind of the lead. I'm not gonna spoil the movies, but he is a very high level. He's the muscle or for the criminals, basically, like super skilled assassin guy, right? And the main character, their first encounter, they fights him in like a bathroom stall, and you could just see he just has this look on his face like, why is this guy this good? Like, who is this dude? You know what I'm saying? Because he's so used to beating everybody so easy. So yeah. He fights this dude and he just looks at him like, who is this guy? That movie's fire. Then I finally watched a movie that you've been telling me to watch for a long time. I watched Attack the Block with John Boyega. Fire. That movie's really dope. John Boyega's a star. This movie is old too. Came out in 2011.
Yep. That was his first. It wasn't even that big of a movie, but that was his first big movie.
Yeah. Great.
Moses Ninja.
Moses Ninja. I love this movie. It was dope. I thought it did. It's one of those movies that just does a lot with a little, man. The way that the creatures, the aliens were,
them things,
the way them things was presented. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The way them things were presented, it was excellent. I love British slang, and you just get a bunch of it in this movie. The banter amongst the youth, it was hilarious. And I know it's rated R, right? But in terms of films where you have the group of youth getting into, going on an adventure, or in this case, alien invasion. You have your movies, Goonies and Stand By Me, and even, I love those kinds of movies. The Super 8, like the group of kids, Now they are a little older. They're kind of teenagers in this movie, but I love, like, this movie was dark.
Yeah.
Characters are dying.
Yeah.
Brutal, violent deaths.
I'm actually mad because I can't remember his name now, but the light skinned bro, he died. Spoiler, major spoiler.
Yeah.
But they are officially, the sequel is in pre-production right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is he gonna be in it, John Boyega?
Of course, John is gonna be in it. But
fire.
the light skinned dude was my second favorite character.
He was a great character. I was mad about that too,
bro. That scene where he went off on the nurse.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
What you mean? What's wrong with the area?
But the everything is in this movie is great. But the coolest thing is how it just serves as what does he say? He says it's when they're talking to the nurse, and he says what did he say? He said government probably bred these things to kill black boys.
Kill black boys.
First they sent in drugs, then they sent in guns, and now they're sending monsters to kill us. They don't care, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like this movie is such a great giant metaphor for the lengths. It's a metaphor not only for, it does a great job of showing what systematic racism does to black youth and the things that they have to go through every day. Then you get the perspective of the white nurse who's on the outside looking in, and now she's starting to see what they go through. And it's also just a big metaphor for like they do so much to they do so much, and they put so much effort into keeping black youth in these situations that an alien invasion wouldn't be out of the question. You know what I mean?
Bro, super random. I'm looking at NBA preseason scores. The Boston Celtics they signed Jay Scrubb, who I remember liking him in the pre-draft process a couple years ago. He tore his ACL in practice yesterday, which is trash. But he has 1 rebound in this game that's happening today.
Wait, he tore his ACL in practice yesterday?
Yes.
Nah, bro, that's not real.
I mean, I know there's no way that could be true, but it literally says he has 1 rebound right now.
I said no. He tore his ACL. There's no way he's doing anything.
I mean, I hear you.
I don't believe it.
It says it right here, bro.
Moses Ninja. No, I don't believe it. Attack the Block. It's fire. Watch it. That's great. More black sci-fi movies. But yeah, man. Moving on. Oh, I also watched Snowpiercer as well. Watched that. That was cool.
Wait. So what's your favorite character? Who was your favorite character?
You know who my favorite character was. You know who it was.
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but
the young guy who was the good fighter
with the fucking knives, that killed like 1,000 people in that one scene. When they went through that tunnel, they let the chains off that nigga. Started going crazy.
It literally let the chains off him. Snowpiercer was cool, man. Chris Evans is dope.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
But yeah, wrestling recap, man. Wrestle Dream. AEW, man. AEW's been turning out some really good pay-per-views this year, man. I think the biggest wrestling news right now is that Jade Cargill has officially made the jump to WWE, which is cool. You know, I think I've said before, I think there's a couple wrestlers in AEW that are just more suited for WWE, and that's okay. And I think she's one of them. I think she's going to be a huge star. So
agreed.
That's what's up. Wrestle Dream was cool. I mean, you had I'm looking at the card here. You had the Luchasaurus Nick Wayne thing, which, you know, Christian doing the whole weird dad gimmick.
Yeah. It really is a strange storyline.
Weird. I don't really care for it. But anyway, some of the good matches that I cared for.
You forgot about the best part of what happened there in that.
Oh yeah, Edge, crazy old coot,
Adam Copeland is in AEW.
That's cool.
I've never been the biggest fan of Edge, but I know he's like a legend, but he's never really been.
I've never been a big Edge guy either,
or Kristen, to be honest.
Or Christian, me either. Same.
But they're both legends. AEW is, I'm sure, a better place to have them. But
yeah, and you know, really I think they're kind of looking to bring somebody in to fill that CM Punk void. And
that's a good point. Is kind of think about that.
I guess.
I like him more than I like CM Punk, so I'll allow it.
I am going to reiterate. I cannot handle if this company goes from MJF to Adam Cole, bro. I can't. Please do not let Adam Cole win this championship, man. Anyway, so Eddie Kingston versus Kazuchika Shibata, dope. Eddie Kingston, I love seeing him he's getting his flowers right now, man, in this run. He loves Japanese wrestling. He does, and he's the New Japan Strong Openweight champ right now. He beat Claudio for the Ring of Honor World Championship a couple weeks ago. So just seeing him get some love and get some title runs is dope. Chris Statlander, she beat Julia Hart for her TBS championship. Julia Hart, man, she kind of impressed me. She was all right. So that match was cool. Statlander's a dog. We all know that. Then we had the the tag match for the number one contender match. The Young Bucks won. That match was cool. But the big time, I think, story from this pay-per-view. Before I get to that, let's go with so they had Wheeler Yuta and Ricky Starks. That was cool. Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr., man. AEW delivered another dream match that lived up to the hype. This match was fire. I'm boring, man. Like, I like technical wrestling, man. I do, bro. And this was my kind of wrestling that I really like. So I thought this match was amazing. And has talked of a rematch maybe at the Tokyo Dome, Wrestle Kingdom. So hopefully we get something like that. But I thought this match was incredible.
I think I've asked you this before. Have they ever wrestled before?
I think they did, but it was like on the Indies years and years and years and years ago. But never anything like this. So that match was amazing. Then you had the whole Christian versus Darby main event where Edge came. Darby, take care of yourself, man.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. This guy takes the most disgusting bumps ever.
Yep.
Then you had the trios match, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, Bushi versus Konosuke Takeshita, Sammy, and Will Ospreay. That match, of course, I mean, come on, we knew that match was going to slap. It was fun. That match was dope. But I think the thing that excited me the most about Wrestle Dream, even though I was looking forward to FTR versus Aussie Open was fire too. But even though the thing that I was looking forward to the most was the Bryan Danielson Zack Sabre Jr. match, Swerve versus Adam Page was so dope. Absolute banger. Swerve is a guy that we have been talking about for years on here. This is a guy that is the best shot at AEW having a black world champion. And I think this dude is the total package. He's great on the mic. This guy got great charisma. He has a hilarious manager. He's great in the ring. Like his finishing move is fire. He can do everything. Like Swerve he can be technical. He's a high flyer. He's got some exciting striking moves. He's dope, man. And seeing him not only get the win on Adam Page, but the match was fire, and then it was in Seattle, so the crowd was booing Adam Page, which you'd never see in AEW. It's just an interesting dynamic for that match, and then they delivered. It was fire. Swerve, let's go. Next up, hopefully he gets some type of singles title in AEW. If WWE Fastlane was last night, Saturday, last night? I think it was last night. It was cool, man. It felt like one of WWE's quicker shows. It wasn't like one of those shows that had like 7 million matches on it. The women's match was dope. Io versus Charlotte versus Asuka. Triple threat match. Io won. She's GOAT. Seth and Shinsuke was the main event. It was cool. The match was fire. Seth won. But like, why we always got to do that thing where?
That's so
why we always got to do that thing where like, why Shinsuke have to lose to him 3 times?
I think
I
think for some people, because this happened when Shinsuke.
But this is what bothers me, because I guarantee you, we're not watching Raw right now, so I don't know who it's gonna be. But I guarantee you, the next guy is gonna win.
Yeah.
Why would we have to beat this guy like 3 different times?
They did the same thing when Shinsuke was having that program with AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Where I think they think in their minds, if you like getting to the mountaintop and like taking the ride of #1 contender is the prize.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And it's like, no,
like
bro.
that? Was that fun?
No, fuck, no, it wasn't. I lost. Fuck off.
Yeah, dangle the towel in front of him.
Which is why Kofi Mania was such a big deal, because like nobody thought he was gonna fucking
actually get in.
We seen this shit before. Like we know the game plan. You fucking try them out there. You have a feel good story. You get a couple of near falls, and then the white guy.
Get him out of here.
Right. And then you send Kofi on his way back to the New Day, and you fucking
give him some pancakes.
All right, you give him some bootios. and he should be happy that he had his little half a moment at WrestleMania. But they surprised. They fucking swerved on us. No pun intended. And,
swerve.
See what I did there?
Yeah, right. that was clever. You should rap. We should do a project where I make the beats and you rap.
Dog, would you like the weakest? That'd be the weakest music project of all time. I made one rap verse, and when I was in high school, that bitch was weaker than
I made a couple beats and goodness gracious,
them bitches was
you guys know how I don't like technology? That's what they sound like. They sound like
a nigga that don't like technology. You know that making beats is technology.
Yeah, so that's what they sound like. I didn't want to do it. So
I actually think I made 2 verses, and it
horrible.
I think nobody who has heard this verse. There are like 4 people on earth that have heard this verse, and before you ask, I don't have it anymore. I deleted it. But there are 4 people on earth that have heard this verse. None of them listen to the podcast.
Rap it for me, since you know?
I literally don't know any of the words.
Oh,
but here's the thing. Here's the funny part. The only person that you know that has heard this song, and next time you talk to him, you should ask him, is Doss. Doss has heard it.
Oh, I'm just gonna track Doss down, and I'm gonna force him to rap me.
And I rapped it in a Jamaican accent, bro.
Kofi Kingston,
right? Because that nigga Kofi Kingston is not from Jamaica at all.
He's black. He got dreads.
I don't know.
Jamaican.
Right. I have no idea what I was doing.
Get out there and do what you
What do you want me to do? I was 16. I was a little snot, a little piece of shit. Little fucking dork loser. Little fucking son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? What do you want from me?
Little dork loser.
Little fucking dweeb. Little shrimp. What another bully.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
Jeez.
I was a piece of shit though.
Hilarious. But yeah, man, wrestling. Boom. Let's go, man. So let's get into this. Ahsoka finale. Last episode we had to recap 3 episodes. What was it? 5, 6, and 7.
Yes.
And now on to the meat and potatoes. The Ahsoka finale. Whew! What'd you think, man?
Man, see, look, bro.
Hero hates Star Wars.
Because
this guy hates Star
Wars. It makes
Wars.
it. I actually really like this series.
You hate Star Wars, bro. Just admit it.
No, bro. I like this series a lot, but every time I have a problem, it's one that like I have to passionately talk about.
This guy hates Star Wars.
This series needed one more episode, bro.
And you're gonna blame it on episode 5 because you're gonna.
I actually wasn't, but now that you mention it, that's like the perfect scapegoat.
No.
It needed one more episode, man. So like, here's the thing. I thought the episode was fantastic. Like I loved basically every. Like it was a nice ending. It was a nice half of an ending. The only thing that I didn't like was the fact that they didn't answer any fucking questions. Or rather,
I don't think they answered any questions that we were looking for, but I think what they did was show that it's going in a bigger direction than we ever would have thought they would actually do.
Well, yeah. Well, so they actually, I mean, it's not like they didn't do anything. They definitely like rounded out one part of the story. Basically, my complaint boils down to one thing. They didn't move on Shin and Balin's story at all.
They sure did not.
That was really my biggest complaint.
But I think maybe the direction that it's just rest in peace to the guy who played
Ray Stevenson.
Ray Stevenson, who played Balin Skoll, because he's actually not going to be.
Yeah, he passed.
So I wonder what they're going to do with that. But I understand what you're saying. We didn't get any closure with those
It's not even
two.
that we didn't get closure. Like we didn't even have plot liftoff on their story. So like outside of that, I love the episode and I love the series. But the thing that frustrates me about the series is that the most interesting part of the whole series they barely even talked about, which was Balin and Shin. Like we kind of knew that was the only like wild card, right? Because we knew that if you've been paying attention, you kind of knew that Thrawn was coming back, right? So you knew that he was going to escape somehow. You knew that they were going to get Ezra back. You knew that the big bad of this series wasn't really Thrawn, at least this season. It was the Night Sister, Morgan Elsbeth. Elsbeth, yeah. She was the big bad. And so they completed her storyline. That was a dog-ass fight there. They completed her storyline, and that was good. But the thing that frustrates
Bruce Lee's granddaughter.
It's Dan Anisato's granddaughter or something.
She is.
It's Bruce Lee's right-hand man. It's either his daughter or granddaughter.
Yeah.
Dan Anisato.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, she's a beast. She was doing it. She got some tech. She was doing that shit. Wasn't a stunt double. She was out there. She was out there moving.
She's cold.
But yeah, I was frustrated. I was very disappointed with like not having
goddaughter of Bruce Lee. There we go.
Yeah.
Because Dan Anisato was his guy.
Yeah, that was his man's. Not only not getting closure, but just like not even getting the beginning of their story. They didn't even like I said, no plot lift off on Shin and Balin's piece, which in my opinion was one of the most interesting parts of the series. And I'm just worried now. And I think the fact that I knew that character or that actor had passed, it made it land worse for me because it was like, damn, like what y'all gonna do, man? Like, because I mean, they left that nigga was on the cliff of a Mortis statue. Like that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal, and
like,
for him to be gone.
What do you mean? Now what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So so I want to separate these two ideas. I really like the finale as a outside of that piece, and I like the show a lot outside of that piece. I do think that they suckered a lot of you motherfuckers in with that last Anakin, the Force Ghost scene. I seen on Twitter niggas was like crying and like, if you don't get the fuck out of here, bro, like come on. We all love Star Wars, but give me a, you know what I'm saying? Give me a break, dog. Come on. Anyways, it was cool. That was a nice moment. But I do want to separate those two things because outside of that point, which left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, I thought it was fire.
Yeah, man, I did too. I loved it. Thought it was fire. The action was great. I feel you same way. I think that Baylan and Shin were definitely the most interesting part of this show since the beginning, and
because we still don't know anything about
either of them.
We can assume that they're not Sith, but they're not Jedi. Like what? Yeah. We don't know shit, bro.
And I agree, man. And we really did get left on a giant cliffhanger,
literally,
and like a huge.
Bro, they literally left us on a cliffhanger. The last shot was him on a cliff.
Yeah. Oh, geez, man. So true. I just think that it's a literal cliffhanger, but I guess I'm the same as you. I loved the episode, and I thought it was great. I can't believe that we really don't know anything about Shin or Baylan.
Nothing.
And
not officially. We can have theories. But.
Yeah, but that kind of shocks me a little bit. But other than that, this episode was amazing. I love the team ups. I love we got to see Ezra using a lightsaber again. Man, there were so many good little team up moments. It was the we got the Morgan Elsbeth got the Morgan Elsbeth got the Mother Talzin blade.
Yeah. That was fire.
That was crazy. The Night Sister magic, the way they were bringing back the stormtroopers and making them into zombies, that was sweet. But man, the fight between Ahsoka and Morgan Elsbeth was amazing. That was really, really good.
Hold on, bro. Ben Simmons is out here killing.
Ben Simmons is playing basketball.
Apparently, that nigga playing good. I thought he was done.
He does. Does he like basketball?
I mean, they getting their ass whooped, but he's playing well. Oh no, he only got 10 points. Never mind. I just happened to see it,
what do you mean?
bro.
Because for him.
Facts.
He only got 10 points.
Right.
He won't even shoot enough
shots
to get 10
he's having a career day.
He got his confidence back, man.
Right.
But yeah, bro, the fight between Ahsoka and Morgan Elsbeth was amazing.
That was a good script.
The team up between the three of them was dope. And like I said, the cliffhanger, I'm just interested to see where they go, but the finale was fire and I loved it. So with that said, how would you rank all the Star Wars live action shows thus far in order from favorite to least favorite?
I think I did this. Let me see. Pull it up.
Boom, boom, boom.
No, it's in last place.
What do you mean? That was the best one.
That shit was boring, bro.
No, it wasn't. It was the best one.
I don't care. Nobody say that shit was weak as fuck, dog.
Josh is gonna he's gonna be mad. Josh loves that shit.
Sorry, Josh, but that shit was not for me. There's a reason why they made the first 4 episodes available all at the same time. Because that shit was a fucking slog. Good Lord, that shit was boring.
Oh, man.
I mean, yeah, I get it, right? Like, you're trying to do a thing, but it didn't work for me. That shit was boring, god damn it. Great, now my Discord isn't working. 1 second.
But yeah, I definitely feel the same way about said show.
Yeah,
Star Wars, man. Where the lightsabers at?
Right, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where the fucking bounty hunters at, nigga? Where the Force at? Where the lightsabers at? Where the bounty hunters at? If it ain't got none of the 3 of them, I don't want nothing to do with that shit, bro. Flat out, like, simple, like You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Like if it ain't those three, pass.
If it's
and Andor ain't got none of that shit.
If it's none of that, oh, that's a tough ask. Because
bounty hunters are cool. They don't have to be all Jedi.
It's just the thing is, I love Rogue One so much, but Cassian Andor was.
I barely remember him even being in that shit.
Interesting character in the movie to me.
Agreed.
Jen, in my opinion, was more interesting.
Way more.
Obviously, Sheridan Way and Baze Malbus. You could have did a Saul Guerrero show.
Bruh, hell yeah.
The Boogaloo. The
Boogaloo knows your thoughts. All right, here's my ranking.
Oh, goodness.
Let's start from the bottom. Obviously, I did not enjoy Andor. I thought the last couple episodes were pretty good. But it wasn't enough to, and I think season 2 could be good if they pick up the fucking pace a little bit. But the ending, the beginning of that shit was too fucking boring. It was too slow for me. Like, I'm sorry.
Slog.
And I don't care how much good, and that y'all are severely overrating that monologue that what's the name gave at the end of that shit. Like that nigga's ass was off, but it wasn't. He ain't throw that bitch nowhere. That nigga unscrewed it kinda and sort of gently took this shit off. But he didn't shove his ass out of an airlock the way Jean-Luc Picard did. It was good acting, but let's not get it twisted. It wasn't like people are acting like that was the greatest piece of acting in the history of Star Wars. I don't know about that.
The greatest piece of acting in Star Wars has got to go to your boy Palpatine. Pick a moment.
Yeah, right. That nigga was having a blast, dog. That was having fun, dog. Hey, I'm a cackling madman, bro. And that's all.
The story of Darth Plagueis
the Wise.
Man.
Right.
Is it possible to learn these powers?
Not
from a Jedi. And then you get that weird smile. Not from a Jedi.
All right, bro. Here's my list. The Andor was my least favorite. Even though I did like Book of Boba Fett, it did get a little wonky at the end.
It did. It flat out had a group of characters that looked like they took them from another show.
The fucking Power Rangers Pod Racer Force. Them niggas did look Mighty Morphin in a mug.
Oh my goodness, they literally look like they were shooting and like down the street.
Right.
Something else.
Hey, we just need some extra guys. Come in. The Mighty Morphin ass niggas in here right quick.
My goodness, my man did that spin around shot with a gun.
Oh. Right.
Oh man, those hurt me in that show.
That was silly. That you get some points deducted from that. I did love Black Chrysanthemum though. That's one of my favorite new characters ever.
Yeah, he was out there Sonic knuckle dusting.
Knuckle dude. Hey bro, you know who this is gonna be funny, bro. You know who Black Chrysanthemum reminded me of, dog? That nigga reminded me of Powerhouse Hobbs, bro. They had the same energy, dog.
Oh, speaking of Powerhouse Hobbs, it looks like he attacked Kenny Omega.
Oh,
on Dynamite. So
I didn't catch that. So we're gonna get a little kitty program.
Powerhouse. Look, I think that Powerhouse Hobbs is another guy, man. He just him working with Omega.
Yeah,
could be really dope for him
for sure.
So I'm excited for that. I mean, it's like when all these guys come into AEW, Danielson, Claudio, Edge now, CM Punk, they do always name drop him. You know what I mean?
They do.
As a
guy that they like. Yeah.
So he there's definitely something there with him for sure.
Yeah, I've always liked him, man. I'm happy to see him take the next step. So yeah, Powerhouse Will Hobbs, Blacker Stanton. I did like that character a lot. Then we had Obi-Wan would be next for me. That would be number 3.
Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was
it was
goodness.
excellent.
That last fight.
Yeah, it was dope.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was really good with the Force Wing Chun they were doing.
Yeah, he was. He kind of whooped. He
Oh yeah, he beat the brakes off Vader.
Obi-Wan is like
he has Anakin's number.
Got Anakin's number.
No matter like what phase of Anakin it is, he got his number for sure.
He got his number. Bullying that man.
And also the introduction of Ariva, excellent character. I can't wait to see more from her. Hopefully they bring her back and do more with it. Was that the show that we also saw? Or no, that might have been that was Mandalorian season 3 where we got what's the voice actor who played Jar Jar Binks?
Oh yeah, I forget, but he got his redemption as the.
No, but here's
Jedi.
the thing though, like if you're gonna give him some redemption, don't just one off that shit.
Yeah,
give me a comic book with him in it or something. You know what I'm saying? Don't just. All right, nigga, here's your check. Like, nah, nigga, come on, bro. They've been roasting me for years off this shit.
Right.
Give me a run. Give me a
run. Let me get a.
Give me an arc. Give me 3-4 episodes or something.
Give me a.
Not a cameo.
Let me come back into Grogu's life.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Let me go give me a video game or a fucking comic book run right quick or something. Anyway, so that was good. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go Mandalorian. I'm not gonna break down all of the seasons. Mm-hmm. Mandalorian would be 2 and Ahsoka would be 1, but I do think that.
Hey!
So there's a caveat though; they're very close for me. I think that there are seasons of Mandalorian that are better than Ahsoka. I think Mandalorian season 2
was really, really good.
I think I like that overall better than Ahsoka, and I think season 1 was about as good as Ahsoka, but season 3 was not as good as Ahsoka. And so with that said, I think Ahsoka like just barely edges them out. But Ahsoka was fantastic, and I just, everybody was great. I didn't love Sabine in this. She was sort of annoying. And I hate that. That's a very manosphere comment because all of the men are saying the same thing. I'm sorry. But for me, it was like, I just get a little bit tired of like the plucky white girl as a personality, like cliche. And that didn't seem to be Sabine's character in the show.
No.
And I didn't like that version of her live action. You got a little bit of that with Hera as well, where like Hera in Rebels was a boss, bro. Like she was the adult. She was a
leader.
Yeah,
she
bro.
Was the adult of
she was the
crew.
adult of the
Yes.
group. And like in the show, they just did like the kind of plucky white girl thing. And again, I'm being very careful here not to conflate this with the complaint that niggas will always give, the whole girl power stuff. Like I'm here for what you regressive ass niggas refer to as girl power. But what I'm not here for is the way in which those moments always come in the same package of plucky white woman like style, as opposed to what we saw in with Reva, for example, who was like, and this is a little bit of a cliche as well, but like it was done well, where you get like brown woman who's had to overcome. I'm gonna get critique for this as well, but like this is another thing that we need to do less of, which is like brown woman is being shitted on by life and like has to overcome, because black women are way too often are like portrayed as these tragic characters that need to overcome and be the strongest person and like clean up after these hoe ass niggas also. Like, so maybe that's not the greatest example, but I just kind of get tired of like this really cliche. I'm not going to tell you anything because I'm fucking Taylor Swift kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like that energy. I can't stand that shit. I cannot stand that shit. And I don't like how they characterize both Hera and Sabine as that. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm Taylor Swift.
Right. Here's a better example. The way that the version of quote unquote girl power that you saw in Miss Marvel by Kamala Khan, excellent. She was so dope. And that other movie, bro. Did you see that one? I meant to talk to you about this, bro. The martial arts Indian movie about I forgot what it was called, but
I didn't see it, but I want to see it really bad.
That
movie looks
fire,
amazing,
bro. Yes.
Yeah, I actually have it's on my watch list on that.
Move it to the top, bro. That shit's dope. And again, the way that movie does the so-called girl power piece, amazing.
It was Polite Society.
Polite Society, fantastic. It's so good,
I want
bro.
to see it really bad.
It's got it's kind of got like They Clone Tyrone, Attack the Block, Everywhere, Everything, All at Once type energy, where it's like very cultural and like either you understand it or you don't. But like also like sweet as hell too.
Right.
Like it's not just that, it's also like this on top of like a sweet as hell ass like everything else, which is like my favorite type of movie.
I want to watch that. I've been wanting to see it for a while.
So yeah, that's my list. I would go Andor, Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, Mandalorian, Ahsoka.
Boom.
Did we miss one? Was that everything?
That was all of them. So I hate to be boring, but mine would actually be the same. Andor would be last for me. I just thought it was boring, and like I said before, the last couple episodes were cool, but I just felt like if we were gonna do a character from Rogue One, he just wasn't somebody I was really interested in, and we ain't got no lightsabers. We ain't got no Force.
And no bounty hunters.
And no Mandalorians and bounty hunters.
Nope.
No crate dragons. But yeah, man. Then next, after Andor, I would have to go Book of Boba Fett as well. I loved the finale. I loved we got Cad Bane in this show.
Yeah. They kind of dispensed with his ass pretty quick, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
They got his ass on out of there.
We got Cad Bane live action, which was incredible. The Boba Fett Mando team up was really dope. Boba Fett taming the Rancor was incredible. But yeah, I really loved the earlier episodes of this too, with the story of how he kind of was training with the.
That's one of my favorite episodes of any Star Wars,
where he was training with the Tusken Raiders and stuff. That was really dope. And then like we kind of got to learn that not all of them are scumbags. There's different tribes. That
and
was
they be having honor and shit.
Yeah, like that was sick. I loved that. So Boba Fett was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I just can't put it over some of the other ones, and it did have some campiness to it, like the Mighty Morphin Pod Racer Rangers.
You Mighty Morphin Pod Racers. Shit was silly, man.
What were we thinking there?
I don't know.
Their vehicles didn't even look like they belonged in Star Wars.
Bro, that shit looked like the Vespa from Foolie Cooley. And then they was riding them bitches like they was in a motorcycle gang. That shit was so corny, dog.
Oh man. But then number 3 for me would also be Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan, it was a little slow too at some times, but obviously young Leia was fire. Seeing Andor was fire because, you know, only time we're really gonna see it gets blown up, so we don't see it very often.
Yeah.
But that was dope. And then obviously this episode has some of the most exciting just moments, period. The way that they remember when Vader got to the rebel hideout and they faked him out with the 2 ships. Remember he pulled the one down and then the other one took off behind it. That was amazing. Also,
casually pulled down a spaceship.
I was gonna say, to know that he was strong enough to for sure pull down one was crazy.
No big deal.
And then obviously the fight with him and Obi-Wan was amazing. And then they did that thing where it was going back between the Anakin voice and the Vader voice.
That was fire, man.
That was amazing. That was so good. And then 2, same for me, Mandalorian, man. I'll never forget Mandalorian season 1, where we all literally were blown away by how good it looked.
Because I don't think anybody really had expectations for that show.
Everybody was okay. Let's see what this looks like, man.
Yeah.
There's no way they're gonna do a Star Wars show that look.
Because we were all mad that it wasn't Boba Fett at first, right?
Yes, and then within the first like 5 minutes, we were all like, "Oh, this is a movie budget show."
No, this shit fire.
You know, this is crazy.
Even the soundtrack was like, "Yo, what the fuck? This shit is sweet, bro."
Nuts. Mandalorian season 2, I think, is obviously the best one. It was dope. But even just getting those Clone Wars characters, man. Bo-Katan, the rest of the Mandalorian people, Death Watch, couple Death Watch references. Dope, man. Darksaber, Moff Gideon, shows fire. But number one for me too would be Ahsoka. I just love the character of Ahsoka. I think she's one of the greatest Star Wars characters ever in terms of characters that have complete story arcs, and she's just always been great. And seeing her live action was dope. The action was dope. The most I love how much this show just kind of is a tribute to samurai films.
Yeah.
Even a lot of the shots are, shots that you'd see in samurai movies. The soundtrack doesn't really sound. It sounds like Star Wars, but it's like
a straight up like samurai
sounds
score.
It sounds like a space samurai score. Love it. I'm with you too. I think I enjoyed Hera a little more than you did. But I get what you're saying. She wasn't the same. She didn't have the same. In Rebels, she's the leader. She is the leader, and she's
responsible.
I don't want to say she's the mom, but she's the responsible one, and she's the what's my man's name? She's Steve from Stranger Things. She's got these crazy kids running around. And then and Sabine too. I wasn't in love with Sabine's character either. I thought they kind of missed her personality from Rebels a little bit. But Ezra coming back was dope. And the action in this show was so good. Baylan, awesome character. Shin, awesome character. The fights that we got in the show were super dope. The bringing all the Rebel stuff, the Clone Wars stuff, the Night Sisters stuff, all this cool stuff coming in live action was dope. So Ahsoka's my number one favorite show, man.
Bro, you know what I would hope to? So they're doing this thing where they're like gonna continue all of these stories in like a movie, right? Did you know that? Am I breaking news to you?
Yep.
Okay.
I did not know that.
So they are. I don't know if there's going to be an Ahsoka season 2 or not. I think there may or may not be. But ultimately, in the next couple of years, they're going to tie together all of the Mandalorian Ahsoka storylines in like an Avengers movie, basically.
That's cool.
It would be interesting if there's some things that I don't love about it because we fucking know what's going to happen. It's going to somehow, it has to turn into the First Order eventually. This is the reason why I don't like spending.
Stop doing stuff within existing plot
you know what I'm
points.
saying? This is one of my biggest irritations with doing a lot of exploration in between time periods.
I hate it.
It can be fun. Like there's,
it can be fun, but it can't be. It can only go one place, and we know that. And that's
the Clone Wars went on way too long, but.
The Clone Wars went on for like 20 years.
Literally 20 years. Literally 20 years. 2003 and it's now 2023.
That's real time, guys. Yeah. That's not in the show. That Clone Wars went on.
Sorry, 21 years because didn't Attack of the Clones come out in 2002?
I think so. I was a kid. I was a kid when Attack of the Clones.
It's literally been over 20 years.
Yeah.
But the show did a pretty good job because they went pretty deep and off into some other shit. Like totally not really even having anything to do with like the Imperial storyline. But all of these other stories are very clearly like positioning Thrawn as this big bad who is somehow going to lay the groundwork for the First Order. Like it, I imagine that he's going to be Thanos in this Avengers movie. They're going to defeat him, but not before he presses the right button and then lays the outline for the First Order. And then we've got this other, or what they could do. I mean, I bet you some fucking neckbeard is going to be like, oh, this will be, I would love if this were to happen. If they really wanted to if they gave Filoni the keys and just say, hey, we just want you to make this your own. And even though they don't do this in Star Wars, this is a Star Trek thing. Could they do some sort of world event where they something happens and it causes like a branching reality? And then you can tell a new story that doesn't have anything to do with the First Order stuff.
That would be amazing, but I just think
there's no precedent for that in Star Wars.
Yeah, there's no precedent for it in Star Wars, and it would be.
Is it too much of a cop out? Maybe
be too much of a cop out, in my opinion. Especially
you just need to kind of sit
time travel stuff going on.
Yeah, just sit with your shit, maybe.
And the multiverse stuff going on everywhere else, but I think. Like you said, it's just when you doing all this content in between two existing plot points, it can only go, it can only end up, in the same place. So
last thing I was gonna say about that was it would be really cool if they brought Cal Kestis in.
It would,
because I've grown to really like him. He's a good character. He was very annoying in the first game, but the second game he's got a dope little unique force power that nobody else got that I've seen yet, but I can't say it because it's a spoiler, kind of. Actually, no. Well, he has two force things. This is actually a nice little Easter egg in Ahsoka. He has one like thing. Do you plan on playing this game or no?
The Fallen Order game.
Yeah.
Played the first one, not the second one.
Do you plan on playing the second one?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't say that. It's good. The second one's good. It's much better than the first one.
Yeah. So
but he has another force power in the first one that is like very, very rare. I forget what it's called. It's like the force like telemetry or something like that, where you can touch a thing and get the memory of it.
Like the Matrix, kind of.
Yeah. Ahsoka is the only other Jedi that we've seen that has that power.
When does she do it?
She does it when she's holding that orb thing.
Oh yeah,
I think. And she doesn't explicitly say that she's using that power, but if you played the game,
it's a nice little Easter egg, though. Yeah,
and it's supposedly like a super rare power, like not like 1 in like 100 Jedi have it. So Ahsoka is one of them.
Look at Mr. Anderson,
right?
That's dope. All right, man, let's go. Let's get into this top 5 of the day. Lots of Star Wars talk today.
Star Wars is good, man.
Star Wars is good. It's time to check in on some Star Wars fights, man. Some Star Wars battles. It's been a long time since we've talked about something like this, but anytime there's like a new, especially something of this quality with the way that we saw some great lightsaber fights,
some scrappy daps.
So, what are your top 5 favorite Star Wars fights?
Cool.
Let's go.
So I've got a couple of honorable mentions, just 2, both featuring my guy Kylo Ren.
Hey,
Kylo Ren versus the Knights of Ren in Rise of Skywalker.
The map to Skywalker.
Right.
I know you have it.
Who's going to talk first? You talk first?
First order.
I'll talk first.
Why did they take his helmet off?
Yeah. So yeah, Kylo Ren versus the Knights of Ren. That was dope. This is at the end of that movie where he was kind of working on the niggas. And
oh man, I love Kylo Ren.
Yeah,
he was good. He was good.
And Rey and Kylo were doing like the force teleport back and forth.
That was amazing.
Fire. That was one of the coolest force sort of wiggle things that they kind of added.
Bro,
that was really dope.
She cut the wing off his ship, and I thought he was dead. His ship.
That shit said. I'm like, damn. He looked like he was in trouble,
Bro,
dog.
that mug rolled like 1,000 times, exploded.
Right. That nigga died and shit.
It just came
And
out.
somehow it wasn't okay.
Got up. Woo!
Right. That nigga passed away all the way and then got out of the car and was fine. It just kind of right shit. Put out a fire on his cape.
Great, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then speaking of which, in that same movie, Rey versus Kylo on the abandoned ship in the ocean.
That fight is so good.
Yeah.
See, man, the sequel trilogy, man. Good individual movies.
It's just a very weak story altogether.
Yeah, altogether, but individually, some good stuff, man. I love that fight, man, when Rey does the forced backflip over the big waterfall and Kylo Ren just walks through it.
Yeah, boy, that shit was dope. Shit was really dope.
Great.
All right. So I asked the question before we went on air. Are we talking just lightsaber fights? Now, all of them are lightsaber fights except for this one. And you were like, no, just any battle, any like action sequence. I'm gonna go with, and I know you have a different space battle that you fuck with, but my favorite space battle is the space battle at the end of Rogue One.
Oh, Scarif? Is that what it's called? The Battle of Scarif?
Yeah.
That was
insane,
nuts,
bro.
They had to try to get in before the dome.
Yeah, bro, that shit was
crazy.
insane, dog.
A lot of them ain't make it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yep.
Nah, that fight's fire.
It was a really,
sick.
really good dog fight or space battle.
Even on the ground too, that was good stuff, man. That and the final act of Rogue One,
it's incredible, dog.
Like some of the best Star Wars stuff,
bro. The last 30 minutes of that shit, I was on the edge of my seat like nonstop, bro. Like, bro, what the fuck is? Because
and then the nightmare Darth Vader scene.
Oh, fuck! I forgot about that. Damn. Yo, it just reminded me of
nightmare Darth Vader scene.
That sound that I just made.
Crazy.
You know that viral video of Matt Stafford when his rookie year when he got injured,
bro? Yes, when he hurts his ribs
and they got
don't
hit.
touch me.
Do you hear the sound he made when he got hit the first? That nigga said, "Oh!" That was the first time
he had just laid there,
bro. Like it shocked him. That nigga said, "Oh,
yeah."
Shit. That was the first time he was ever hit by a man before.
That's what this is like,
right? No, that was a man that hit you. It wasn't no child, nigga. That was a man with a mortgage and a child that needs to injure you in order to feed his babies.
Speaking of a man with a mortgage and a child, on Sunday, my boys, my AU team, we played a team, and this kid had tattoos, bro.
Yeah. I texted,
and he was huge, and he had these. They were real. They weren't. This kid had tattoos,
bruh. So he told me this, and I texted Noveliss back. I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, that's my mechanic. He also plays 8th grade basketball.
8th grade basketball,
yeah, right.
Bro.
Yeah, that nigga replaced my carburetor.
Tattoos, bro. Stop it."
Anyways, yeah, no, Matthew Stafford got hit by a grown man, and that was the first time he ever felt it. And he let out a sound that I don't think he meant to, because that shit did not sound manly at all.
Oh!
Exactly. Oh, damn. Y'all niggas hit too hard in this bitch, bro. But yeah, no, that Nightmare Vader scene hit me the same way. Like, oh, shit. You know what? The reason why I was on the edge of my seat for so long is because this is Disney, right? Like, Jen and Andor are gonna make it, right? Like,
bro,
they gotta make it. And the whole time I'm sitting to myself like, how the fuck they gonna get them out of here?
Right.
Like, they had no time left.
I was like, wait, can they not make it?
And then the bomb went off, bro. I was like, holy shit, they're done. They're murdered.
Oh my!
No fucking way. I did not think they'd be able to pull that off, but they did.
Insane.
Anyways, that was a good fight scene, space battle. Number 4, Ahsoka versus Baylan Skull 1.
Let's go!
Because they fought twice.
The stance changing fight.
I literally wrote,
nasty,
in my notes here, I literally wrote the one where they switch stances.
So good, one of the best lightsaber
because
fights.
Star Wars nerds, we were like, oh, that's that one stance. You remember? That's the Vader stance. I mean, and it was like canonical, right? Like they were doing the shit.
That felt like a samurai duel.
100%, bro.
Any other Star Wars
100%, bro.
Lightsaber fight.
Because it was this thing where it's even more analogous because like in a lot of samurai fights, like one fighter might adjust to the style of another based on their stance.
Yeah.
And for the Star Wars folks, they were doing the same thing because there's like, 8 different forms or whatever, or 9 different forms or something. And like, it was almost like they were like kind of flexing on each other. Like, yeah, no, I got this shit. I got this tech. What you got for it? Because they were switching stances without even exchanging blows. So it was almost like they were testing each other, like
sizing each other.
If I go here, what do you do?
And
then she adjusted. All right, bet. So what if I go here? And then she adjusted. Like, oh, that was dope. The conversations that you have without
with the sword,
right,
no
or with
words.
the fist, without any words, just
So
the fighting
good.
spirit. It was really dope.
So great.
All right, number 3, I got Obi-Wan versus Vader 1. And when I say 1, I mean 1.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like the original pre-mask, pre-suit Vader, because when he turned to the dark side, that was his first appearance as Vader, not when he got the suit.
When he was fighting Anakin.
I mean, look, bro, people make fun of that fight scene, but I don't care what nobody say, bro. Like, that shit was fire.
What people make fun of what fight scene?
The Mustafar fight.
They make fun of that?
Yeah, because they was
I
doing
thought that was like the GOAT.
I mean, I thought so,
That's
but
kinda
that's
wild.
all of the people who like have hot takes on the prequels always say that, oh, they're just spinning their lightsabers and they're not doing anything.
Bro,
Like,
that fight was amazing. What you mean?
it's has always been one of my favorites, obviously. It was my number 1 favorite for a long time. Right, bro.
Dog, that scene is amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, Mustafar fight, Obi-Wan, Vader 1. Love that scene. It used to be my favorite of all time, but two spots have taken it because there's new stuff that's come out. Number 2, Kylo Ren and
Oh yeah,
Rey
I forgot
versus
about
the
this
Praetorian Guard,
Yeah,
dog.
man.
I fucking love that fight, bro. That whole scene was fire, dog.
Amazing. It is. It is very good.
The whole scene was dope.
That scene's dope.
They got the drop on Snoke, and then they went to chopping on them Praetorian Guard members immediately.
Fire.
Yes. So shout out to that one. And then number 1 might surprise you a little bit, bro. But like, I really need y'all to understand how dope this fight was because of the details, man. Ahsoka versus Darth Maul, bro. Number 1. So the details are as follows. 1, they brought Rey back. And you could tell by his movements, they brought him back to mocap.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think they had done that before, or at least not recently.
No, I don't think they had either. And it was needed for this.
For sure, bro, because Ray Park has a very specific style of not just fighting, but like his movement style is very specific and it's very, very synonymous with Darth Maul. And they brought that back. 2, I don't think y'all understand, bro. Ahsoka beat Darth Maul, one of the greatest lightsaber duelist in Star Wars history, like as an 18-year-old in Darth Maul's, I mean, he might have been slightly past his prime, but not a ton past his prime.
Right.
Beat him in single combat fair and square. Like,
She did, man.
like that makes her one of the best lightsaber duelists ever.
One of the GOATs.
Period. That's why I didn't buy when Balin was like, "You can't defeat me." Like,
You sure about that?
I feel like she'll beat your ass, nigga. Like, I feel like we could make a real easy case to definitively prove that she will whoop your ass.
She might.
I think she might give you the work, bro. Unless Balin Skull is some like Jedi like goat that we just never heard of.
Yeah.
I don't know if I buy it. So yeah, man. Ahsoka versus Maul. That really blew me away. That was an amazing, amazing fight.
Boom! All right, man, let's go. Honorable mentions. I love the Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader fight from the Obi-Wan show.
Yes,
that fight was amazing. A lot of crazy force powers going on, throwing rocks and boulders and all types of crazy stuff like that. I love Luke versus Vader from Return of the Jedi, man.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I have, on my recent run through of all the old Star Wars movies, so we already kind of talked about this. Like, I've always liked Empire, but this last time I watched it was one of the first times where I've felt the thing like, oh no, this is one of the best Star Wars movies. Like, you know what I mean? I just like the whole entire thing of Luke training for a little bit and then thinking that he was about to go beat Darth Vader. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, if you don't get your I've been doing this shit for years, dog.
And just like the uncertainty, man. And then I also just love Luke not being showing up in the little jumpsuit and
he got a lick in. I think he got one or two licks in.
And he was scared, and they just did a really good job of illustrating that and the smoke, like the way that whole thing is though. I love that fight too.
What about that? And this is slightly different, but it reminded me that scene at the end where he's like hanging off the end of Bespin.
Yeah,
it reminded me of the end of episode 3.
No!
All right, I was tripping.
Can't be!
It reminded me of the end of episode 3 where Yoda had to escape out of the bottom.
And my man's picks him up
in the car, the senator or something. But like, did you ever think that
my man's does not age?
No, he doesn't. I forgot that guy's Jimmy Smits. I think
it looks the same.
Do you ever think that Yoda like massively overreacted? That nigga was like, I failed. I have to disappear forever now. Just like off top. Like,
no, that scene was always so weird.
It was very strange.
Like, yeah. I
didn't
win. So you gotta disappear forever.
Right, bro. Like the whole, like, were you planning on beating Darth Sidious in single combat? Like, was that your big plan? I mean, it ain't like he could have won, but like that's Darth Sidious. That ain't no just random guy.
He also cheated, and I felt Yoda kind of gave up kind of easy.
He did. He started throwing senator tables at him.
Yeah,
and like he just was like, all right, fuck that. That nigga Yoda was like, hey, bro, fuck that shit, bro. I'm going home. If you gonna just be throwing platforms at me, then fuck this shit. I'm finna take my ball and I'm going back to Dagobah. Let the young cats figure it out. That's literally exactly what he did.
30 years from now.
Bro, that's literally, let them young niggas figure that shit out. If you gonna just be throwing tables at a nigga, I'm good, dog.
That's so funny that you just brought that up. He definitely overreacted. Dang it. I guess I'll go into hiding for 30 years. But yeah, man. All right, let's go. My number 5. Ahsoka versus Balin, man. Already off top. Like the first one as well. Yeah. The stance changing fight when she was trying to get the orb from him. That fight was dope. It was so good. The changing of the stances, the intensity. It was just great. One of the most samurai feeling Star Wars fights ever. Loved it. It was great. That's my number 5. Another honorable mention, man. I love the Ahsoka versus Anakin flashback.
Oh yeah,
that was really dope too. Star Wars. She was going from being younger to being her current. So that was dope. And we got to see Hayden Christensen with the lightsaber, man. Amazing. But yeah, my number 4. Man, Ahsoka's on this list a lot.
Yeah,
bro. Ahsoka versus Morgan Elsbeth. I love this. I loved the killing blow where she took her sword from her.
Give me that.
Oh my gosh, incredible! This fight was so good, and on both parts, Ahsoka was dope. Morgan was amazing as well. The choreography was so good. I thought this is one of the best like choreographed Star Wars fights. It was fire. Loved it. Coming in at number 3, dog, Ahsoka again. Ahsoka versus Darth Maul from Clone Wars. This fight is so good when you understand the timing of it and you know what's going on with Anakin at the time and what's going on in Revenge of the Sith during this time.
Yep.
And bro, when the window, you remember the big window breaks?
Yes, bro.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Like you said, they brung Ray Park there for the mocap. Amazing, man. This fight is so good, and then you get the part where Maul's trying to tell her about Anakin because he was kind of figuring that out at that time. You know what I mean? So good, man. This fight is so dope. The last few episodes of that final Clone Wars season are off the chain. My number 2 is obviously Obi-Wan versus Anakin Skywalker on Mustafar. I don't care if people think it was a light show, whatever. Amazing. So good. For so long, this was the best. This was, they couldn't have ended it better between the two of them at the time.
Agreed.
And then Obi-Wan turns Anakin into a burnt chicken nugget. And then I hate when people used to be like, it's Obi-Wan's fault. He should have killed him. I'm always like, what?
Bro.
What?
That was his man.
What you mean? Even still, he was on fire with no arms or legs.
Do you think? Oh, hey, Pete, listen. Do you think?
No way he
hold on, bro. Do you think Obi-Wan walked away from that fight thinking that Vader was gonna survive?
Bro, like exactly.
You think he spared him on purpose? He was a limbless, overdone steak. That nigga was literally cooked.
He was on fire. He was literally on fire with no arms or legs.
And
come on, man.
Like he was like,
what you mean he survived?
Right.
I
bet you. I hate you, bro. I bet you. Look, dog. I bet you when Obi-Wan found that shit out, that nigga was probably like, "I beg your pardon."
No, look, because when I left, he was on. Was on fire.
I swear to God, when I left, that nigga was a chicken nugget. When I left, that nigga was barbecued. Pardon, dog? He what?
He what?
Are you insane?
No, hilarious.
No, I bet you Vader. Obi-Wan was more surprised than anybody that Vader survived.
He survived 100%, bro.
Like,
what you mean, bro? I turned that man into a s'more.
I was just about to say that nigga was a s'more, bro. I barbecued that nigga over a fire, and I brought the marshmallows and chocolate. That nigga was done. What do you mean he survived? We roasted that nigga over an open fire. Yeah, on some chestnuts roasting on open fire. All right, dog.
No, seriously though, I'm always like, bro, I assure you that Obi-Wan was the most surprised person to find out that Anakin was alive.
Right.
Trust me. And then obviously my number 1, it's never gonna change. Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan from Phantom Menace. First of all, love it. Amazing. Up until that point, we'd never seen anything like that.
Nope.
In Star Wars. But my favorite, Qui-Gon is underrated, bro. He was so good with a lightsaber.
Yeah.
He had some moves.
Yeah.
He was so good. And then I always talk about that part. I love the part where they get split up in the force field things, and Qui-Gon just sits down and just meditates.
Yeah, bro, you got to get centered.
I love it. I love it. But yeah, that's my number 1. That's
he had never seen nothing like Maul before, bro.
No, man, and like nobody had. You got to remember, they are the first Jedi to have to use their lightsabers against the Sith
in like 100 years or something.
Long time.
Yeah.
Anybody that's alive in the Jedi Order at that time,
except for Yoda,
and probably
a couple of others, and Yaddle,
they're probably the only ones that had to do so. So yeah, that was great, man. That fight is amazing. Like I said, up until that point, had never seen anything like that in Star Wars. That's always gonna be on number one. The score, Duel of Fates, obviously incredible. Just a banger. And then once Qui-Gon dies, the one-on-one portion between Obi-Wan and Maul is also amazing. Still some of the most impressive lightsaber work I've ever seen. So that's always gonna be my number one. That's my top 5.
Hey, did you notice that the death of Maul was like sneaky violent as fuck?
Yeah, you see that little blood?
Yeah, it's like
it's like blood,
like a blood
mist.
spurt. Yeah, like almost like a samurai movie.
I always noticed that.
Yeah.
But that's my top 5. Number 5, Ahsoka vs. Balin. Number 4, Ahsoka vs. Morgan Elsbeth. Number 3, Ahsoka vs. Darth Maul. Number 2, Obi-Wan vs. Anakin from Revenge of the Sith. And number 1, Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn from Phantom Menace. Another honorable mention, man, that I didn't say, Rey vs. Kylo Ren on the sunken starship in Rise of Skywalker. Boom. Star Wars, man. What are your top 5 favorite Star Wars fights? And that's it, man. Episode 167 in the books. Why they push back Dune 2? I want to see this movie.
Yep.
I am waiting for Dune 2.
Are there any other
Rebel Moon?
Good movies? Is that the next one?
Rebel Moon comes out in December, but I think that's kind of the next.
That's the next
joint. That's kind of the next one, yeah.
Word.
Rebel Moon, man, expecting it to be amazing. Looks amazing.
Agreed. I can't wait to. It's got lore. You know I'm a lore whore. So
that just sounds like something a New York rapper would say. Lore whore.
Hey man, you got a big sweaty world for me to dive into. I'm with it, bro.
Yeah, and you know I never knew. I guess I never knew of that about myself. But I also I enjoy the lore because I'm finding that out about myself with Dune. Because the Dune books do not have a lot of the action in Dune in the novel it's kind of happens off screen and you're kind of you get the report, the after. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? For example, when Duncan Idaho fights. A lot goes on with that stuff, but anyway, the way that you find out that he, stood against all these Sardaukar soldiers is that way after the fact, and you get like a report, and they're like, Duncan Idaho, he managed to kill 19 Sardaukar, and everybody's like, excuse me. Right. Because the Sardaukar like unbeatable, and he killed 19 of them by himself, all attacking him at once. Which is crazy. But a lot of the action in Dune happens off screen, and that's why I like the movie so much, because the movie gives you the action that you don't get in the book. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm kind of hoping for in the second movie too.
You'll get it in the second. It's been described as way more action.
Yeah, because Dune, the novel and I mean, how could you include the action? You know what I mean? It's so much. It's so much world building and politics, and you got to explain all these different powers, and there's all these characters and the different royal families, and they all got different customs and different planets they live on. The planets got different characteristics, and the emperor and all these different armies, and everybody's got different fighting style. And, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much stuff, dog. And then so the movie is cool because the movies kind of give you these scenes that happen off screen in the book. So I'm excited to see what goes on there.
Yep.
Dude, man, it's good.
It's good. Boom.
Bye.